You know what time it is. It's the Recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. We does this on a weekly basis. We in the building. It's your boy Tommy Guns. Alongside my man Dav Noble. What's going on?
Yo, what's good, everybody? You feeling?
Shy Montana holding it down.
Cojones.
Karev Ya of Heritage Hip Hop. Always represent.
Salute to you for watching me.
Yeah. Special shout out to my man Big A. He couldn't make this show, but he will be back next week. And of course, as always, special shout out to my man Sajin, aka Mayhem Media, behind the boards, doing his production thing. We here doing our classic podcast shit. We making classic episodes, classic content, as only the GoodFellaz can do. So while we on our classic shit, let's talk classic albums. One thing I was listening, I don't know, I think I was on my way somewhere. Maybe I was in the hood, maybe I was in your hood. Who knows? I was in the whip, I was listening to music, and I was thinking, damn, they don't make classic albums no more. And then further, once I was thinking about that, I'm like, yo, what's the last classic album I've heard? So that kind of was the genesis of this topic. We're going to talk about it. The GoodFellaz, we also want to hear from y'all. Shout out to everybody tuned in right now, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, HBO Max, Disney Plus, however you're tuned into the bad guys, we appreciate y'all. So fellas, let's talk music. Let's talk classic music. What was the last classic album that you remember listening to? It's 2021. 2020 was a substandard year, I'll give you music-wise, but what was the last classic album that we can remember vibing to? Like, yo, Dav Noble.
Peace.
What do you think?
You came to me first. To be honest, I don't know, dude. My ADD is so bad sometimes. I don't even know if I can get through a whole album. Like, to be honest. I'm trying to think the last album that, I don't know if I would call it a classic, but the last album that I've listened to and is still in rotation since it's been out, and I've listened to it over and over and over again, and I can listen to it from front to back. It's gotta be
That's a classic. That's the definition of a classic.
Yeah, but see, it may not be I wouldn't call it a classic. Like,
yeah,
like, you know how you can have a good album and then you can have a classic. Like, every song is, like we was talking about DMX. Like, DMX, that first album was a classic. Like, I was listening to it the other day. I'm like, yo, like, every song is like, like different. But the last, so I can't think I've had a classic album, but the last like rap album that I've actually had on repeat like that was Joey Badass's, was it American Badass? Is that the album?
All American Badass, I think.
All American Badass. I like that album for some reason.
That's a good album.
Like, that is one of those albums that I can put on and I don't skip anything. Is it the greatest album ever? No, but I mean, it's just a vibe, so I can to that.
Joey Badass is dope, by the way.
Yeah, the R&B wise, I think Kalani's second album.
Really?
The joint that's got crazy on it. That she had some singing crazy. That song, I can't think of the name of the album, but for some reason, like, that whole album has a vibe. And I can listen to that because literally every time I drive to see my parents down in Carolina, like, I play that album every single trip, because I can just listen to it. It's just, I don't know, I can vibe to it, I connect to it. So those are the last two albums I can really think of that are consistent. Royce the 5'9", the Allegory, is that what it's called?
Allegory.
Yeah, that album I can put on. Fire. That album is fire. Yeah, that album is fire.
Okay.
But other than that, really, I just kind of jump around. I got obscure stuff like Phoenix. I think the group's called Phoenix Wolfgang, like Amadeus or something like that. Like, I got alternative stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, for the most part, I think those are the last two like albums that I can. And Kendrick Lamar. Was it Damn?
Damn.
Yeah, that album I can.
Okay.
So them four. Kendrick Lamar, I may say, can be classic because that joint hit, man. Like, and I could that joint goes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He goes to a bunch of different places on that album as far as like styles, and it all just connects pretty well together. So I would say that's the classic, but the other ones are just really, really solid albums.
Okay. Shout out to my man Dav Noble. Karev, yeah, you being the hip hop head that you are, and somebody who actually listens to a wide variety of different hip hop, not just this, the generic albums like Drake or Jay-Z. Like, what was the last album that you listened to that you can consider a classic album?
From mainstream artists?
Whatever.
No, I'm gonna go mainstream first. From mainstream artists, I like King's Disease. I thought that was a classic.
Shout out to Nas.
For the age bracket that I'm in and where I'm at in life, that album hit me and where it should. So I think Busta Rhymes' last album was a classic. Honestly,
really,
I do, because when you hear people talk about the album, some people said it had too many songs. There's people who are fans of that song. So if you took that song off, people argue like, nah, that has to stay. So you have people who really, and Busta Rhymes, a lot of his albums, like, they fade and sound the same. This one, I think him taking his time and really putting like Rakim on it, even the BBD song and things like that, it really showed what a lot of people don't show in their so-called albums today, and that's the ability to change up your style and your flow. So I mean, like, to me, in my opinion, I think Busta Rhymes was a classic.
Okay. Extinction level event 2.
Yes. I think besides that, I like the Benny the Butcher, The Plugs I Met Part 1.
Oh yeah.
I like that one. That was really good. And King to a God by Conway the Machine. I thought those two were I think they're right there. I'm gonna stop there because I don't really listen to too many mainstream artists, but those were the last ones that impressed me. R&B wise, hers album. I like her. The album's really, really, really solid. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who brings back Prince vibes, I think she's incredible. So anybody out there who likes R&B, her is amazing. I like to go back into the past a little bit. Anybody who likes alternative type music or whatever, the Internet. Sid the Kid is dope. The Internet is they're great. They're great. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about classic music is, it doesn't get old. It always evokes a feeling. So of mainstream artists, things that are kind of newish, that's all I could tell you right now. Independent wise, there's been classic albums that's come out quite often. You know? Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Gail Campbell, Bloody Waters, that's a classic album because it's the only album of that genre that did what it did for her. I'm a fan of albums that have complete thoughts. Like, how Biggie's album had a theme to it?
Yeah. This
album had a theme, and every song was a story. She sounds like she gives birth on every song. It's very emotional. it's a great album. Bloody Waters by Gail Campbell. Samad Savage, The Gray Area, and his album after that, Trust the Weird Kids. Classic albums. Classic by far. There's nothing anyone can say that'll make me think differently. And I would challenge everybody to listen to them yourselves and tell me what you think, because I put them up there as statement makers in music. If he had the mainstream look, he'd be one of the top artists we'd be talking about. There's other classics or very good albums close to classics. I can't say they're classic yet because it's too soon.
Okay.
But Drift, What My Soul Sounds Like, brings back the Uptown MCA Bad Boy era type sound.
Really?
That's a good album. That's a really good album that is right now is close. It's What My Soul Sounds Like by Drift. You have Alumni by Real Is Promised. He has a single out right now, Black Jesus. Great song. Excellent song. Another person with a classic who had a classic, P2 by Malk out of Bayonne, New Jersey. He samples a lot of 90s soul samples. Okay. So you'll hear you'll hear 80s and 90s music in his music, like Phyllis Hyman and stuff like that. They go back to like that era of their sound. As of right now, Dot Bundini and Stomp. Sweet Dreams Volume 1 is very good. Smoky Locks, The Hex Effect 2, Lord of the Sewers. That's a very good one. And this shirt right here actually is a group, Keith Chandler and the Hit System, The Soul Needs Healing. That's a good album as well. That's, like I said, it's too soon to call them classic, but time will reveal. And right now, what I'm listening to right now, I'm listening to Runt Dog, Silence Punk.
Whoa, what was the name?
Which one? The one I said before, Runt? Keith Chandler and the Hit System. The Soul Needs Healing.
That dude.
Sounds familiar, right?
I did photos for that dude. That's Jay's boy. Yeah, I did photos for that dude at a
college
in East Orange. Yeah, it's on my IG. That's dope. Yeah. Okay.
His project is very, very solid. Album. Like I said, right now I'm listening to Runt Dog, Silence Punk. He took Dragonfly Jones from Martin and put it as the character for his album.
Yeah,
that's a very, very 90s Jersey hip hop album. So if you're a fan of Redman, you like the Gilla House sound with boom bap beats. If you want to still hear Keith Murray and Do It All and Rusty Jukes, great album. And it was worth the money. I bought it. It was worth the money. So those are like my picks right there. So I got you a little bit of R&B, a little bit of hip hop, and if you like Southern music, check out Boss Wood. I Am Boss Wood, the album. He's from Mississippi. He does songs with Big Crit. Very good album.
Shout out to the homie Big Crit.
Yep, very good.
That's what's up, man. Yo, shout out to you. Shout out to Heritage Hip Hop, who, you know, there's a lot of websites out here. They'll post, whatever the mainstream artist of the moment is, they'll post stuff on them. But Heritage Hip Hop does a good job of exposing and providing a platform for I'll say underground artists or artists who are not mainstream, who are still equally as dope.
Basically,
let's not let the fact that you're mainstream or got a budget behind you, that doesn't mean you're any more dope than somebody who's just, underground making it happen. So salute to Heritage Hip Hop for always putting on for the underground.
Come on!
Yo, Sean Montana, what was the last album that you heard that you could consider a classic album?
All right, let me keep it simple. Last classic album that I heard was 2 years ago.
Okay.
The Wizard by Future, the greatest rapper that ever lived.
Really?
Yes.
What was classic about it?
How many damn songs is bangers on that album? Man? It's like, yo, Never Stop, Jumping on a Jet, FNN, Overdose, Baptized. Unicorn Perp was immaculate.
Of course he would make a song called Overdose.
First off, featuring Travis Scott, Face Shot. Like, yo, that song had so many fire ass songs on it, man.
So would you consider that Future's best album?
I don't know, bro. Dirty Sprite 2 is pretty.
Yeah, DS2 to me, if we're talking Future, DS2 is to me like Future's best album, and it's a good ass album. I mean, I'm not the biggest Future fan, but that was a good album. So the Wizard of the Wizard of OZ?
No, it's just the Wizard. The name of the album.
Wizard. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so you would certify that as a classic, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what's up. Any other albums come to mind?
Keeping with what Dab did, he kind of wanted to give you I guess something else other than just hip hop. I had to go back some years for the last R&B classic, and I'm talking about damn near 10 years.
Damn.
Anybody Want to Buy a Heart by K. Michelle.
K. Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think K. Michelle is very underrated. I would say she's this generation's Keisha Cole.
I thought Keisha Cole was this generation's Keisha Cole.
Hold up. Wait, did someone say Keisha Cole had a classic album? I'm sorry.
No, he said K. Michelle.
I said K. Michelle is this generation's Keisha Cole.
But Keisha Cole doesn't have a generation.
Yes, she does.
Isn't she still this generation?
No.
Is
she?
Keisha Cole.
Because she ain't dropped the album in years.
But K. Michelle dropped the ass, but she didn't drop an album anytime soon.
K. Michelle with the fake butt? Or Chris?
Yeah, K. Michelle.
And you had said she got a classic album?
Yeah, Anybody Want to Buy a Heart is a classic album to me.
What? I never heard it, but I never thought K.
Did you hear a sequel? Anybody Want to Buy an Ass?
Hey,
yo,
salute to K. Michelle.
I don't know. Right. Yeah, I mean, you know what? This is your opinion. So, I mean, okay. So K. Michelle dropped the classic album. Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Same reason as Future. I think that it has some super bangers on it, like Cry, Judge Me. You know, it's just, I mean, for R&B, it's tough because I don't always hear R&B that really moves me like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably I could say most of the R&B I listen to is from the maybe like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. Because
I was a big Keisha Cole fan, but like I said, Keisha Cole hasn't really dropped anything in a long time.
Okay.
So I think K. Michelle is kind of like along the same vein as Keisha Cole, Mary J. Blige, like that hood R&B chick. You know what I mean?
They were like hood soul.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. We're giving our opinions. Maybe later on we will actually decide what entails and what consists of a classic album. But for now, we're just giving our personal opinions. It's your boy Tommy Guns. Let me see. As far the last classic album that I heard, and I'm very picky. My personal definition of a classic album is an album, first of all, that you can listen to. The entire album is hot, and or enough songs on there are impactful enough where you could listen to the whole album. That's just my personal definition. The last classic album I've heard, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap. To me, that was a classic album, and
that's a good.
Yeah, and before that album dropped, I wasn't a Nipsey Hussle fan. I met him, he was nothing to me. He was alright, but he was nothing special. But Victory Lap as an album was special, like from the intro, like it just. I heard that. And I got like Jay-Z vibes. I got like certain artists came to mind when I heard that. I'm like, like that joint was tough. Like the production, he held his own with the lyrics. Nobody's confusing him with like Eminem or
what's crazy?
Talib Kweli, but like he held his own lyrically. It was a good album,
The album was fire,
Yeah. Out of nowhere, like it was left field. Like, you know what it was? I heard about it from several people. I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. And I just vibed. I was just listening to like all his music one day. And I was like, that joint is, Keys to the City. Man, the actual Victory Lap joint, like he got so many joints on there that it's, I could listen to the whole album front to back, and the joint's fire. And it's some shit. I listen to it, I get inspired. It makes me want to make money. It makes me want to fuck bitches. It makes me want to chill. Like those are the vibes that I get when I like. To me, a classic album, it makes you just want to, I don't know, like just motivate off the board, like just do your thing.
It's crazy. You mentioned Jay-Z vibes, and I was just thinking like the artist who I think right now who gives me the most Jay-Z vibes is Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
We went back to that King of New York, and I'm like,
it
went off a straight like sound, swag, and potential. I think if he dropped, he says the thing like, how fickle America is. I think he could take that title with a dope with another like full length LP, I think he could take that because that dude got he got the full package. He's a good. He's a I know. He's a good mix.
Yeah.
He's a good mix between like Jay-Z with a little Nas sprinkled in there.
I was actually gonna say if we were coming to like recent albums that I liked, but it was too early. Like The Plugs I Met Part 2.
Part 2 is crazy, yo.
Great album, yo. Like it's too soon to call it a classic, but that's a damn good album, yo.
Do you have Tana Talk?
I haven't listened to it.
97 Hove. Listen to that one and get back to me because that's the one that put him on the map. Really. No, if you like him.
I also want to say, shout out to my man Karevia Heritage Hip Hop, because we had this talk about the King of New York, and he was quick to be like, yo, Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine as his personal pick. But because they're in upstate New York, they don't get necessarily the same type of shine or recognition. But I feel like, yo, Griselda, the whole Griselda group is fire. But Benny the Butcher, I feel like he is maybe an album and a hit single away from really taking the King of New York, like taking the throne.
I don't listen to a lot of that nowadays. Like I just can't hear like dudes shooting everybody. I can't that's that. But his stuff, he talks about those topics, but you feel like you're listening to somebody who's actually been through the stuff
you're
talking about. And I think that's the difference. It's the authenticity of it. Like I think, Drake, for whatever you think Drake has always been authentic in his music. And I think people have always been able to relate to things that Drake says and just, same thing with Kanye, same thing with, Like I think
J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, the best artists are able to just speak from their soul and just grip you. It's not music, but Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle to me is the GOAT because Dave Chappelle could walk into any room right now, take a microphone, and you are going to listen to anything that dude says. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? He's just somewhere else right now.
Yeah, it's like he's not even doing stand-up. He's just talking, and it's funny.
He's just getting paid to just talk and speak and but it's just him. Like he's just a person. He's a draw. For whatever Lil Wayne is, he's a draw. I don't listen to Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne is holding on to them braids. He's holding on to his fan base. You know what I mean? So yeah, so Benny to me is another dude that just seems he's like an album away.
Yeah.
He needs a crossover hit. He needs a radio.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of crossover hits, I hate to interrupt. Speaking of crossover hits, we are the recap with the GoodFellaz show. Unfortunately, it's time to pay them bills. We're going to come back and we're going to delve into what actually makes a classic album. We're going to go there. We're going to break it down. But until then, time to pay them bills. See you on the Rio.